Hi everyone. So today we are going to see about agent access. So whenever we create an agent, so there is an Einstein agent user which is created as part of that agent creation. So how the access works inside the agent force. So there are different types of agents we have. So for example, employee agents and service agents are there. So employee agent is a internal agent which works based on the normal user access. Coming to the service agent, we have two types there as well. So authenticated service agent and unauthenticated service agent. So I have created two agents. So basically two agents are having the same functionalities. So I just use the same script in order to differentiate authenticated and unauthenticated user access. So here also we are getting the case record and creating the case record. Coming to this agent, this is an authenticated service agent, and this is unauthenticated. So coming to the authenticated service agent also, we are getting the case record based on case number and creating the case record. So both are having the same actions and same submit agent. So and I have created different messaging settings and embedded service on two different sites, authenticated site and unauthenticated site. So what does I done in the authenticated site? In the authenticated site, I have enabled add credential based user verification checkbox. So during adding the embedded messaging component in the site and adding my respective agent, sorry, the embedded web development which I have been added. So there I have this checkbox, add credential based user verification. So this needs to be checked in order to make the user as a authenticated user. Addition to that, I need to enable the checkbox in messaging settings. So since in my org I already done, I am not able to show the checkbox again. Even during editing also it's not showing. So let me show the step. So you need to go to the messaging settings, and once after the creation of the new messaging settings, so you will find add user verification checkbox. So you need to enable that checkbox and click on save. So these two settings you need to do. So one is on the messaging settings, you need to enable this add user verification, and while adding the embedded messaging component in the site, you need to enable this checkbox as well, add credential based user verifications. So these are the two things which we need to make in order to run our agent user in a authenticated way. So now we have shown the site and the site of authenticated and unauthenticated. So let me walk through the demo. So I have two community user A and user B. So let me go to user A. So let me log in. As I already mentioned, there are two sites, authenticated and unauthenticated. Let me go to an authenticated agent. We go say that. So now my authenticated service agent has joined. So let me create a case. Okay. So now a case has been created. So let me store this case number under authenticated. So this is the case number. So just for reference. So fetch the details of this case. So medium priority status working and the description which we provided and subject as well. So we got the details. So it's working. Get case record and create case record is working. And let me end this chat. Let me log out. So let me log in and go for an authenticated agent. So let me end the chat here. So let me start a new conversation. So now unauthenticated service agent has joined. So in this agent, so let me try the case that has been created by user A. So user A in authenticated B. So if I go to cases, we go for all open case. So I'm able to see this case which we created. User A case is present here. So this, let me go to the home page, fetch the details of case. So now we are able to get the details of case here in our unauthenticated agent side. So let me create a case here as well. So the case number is 1036. So this is for unauthenticated of user. Yeah. So let me end this chat. So let me log out from this site. So let me go for user. So the same process which we are going to do. So let me log in as authenticated agent. So let me end the chat here. Once. So now under user B, authenticated user, we have logged in. So let me try to get the case details of this case. So it's external user and the sharing settings is private. So if I try to get the case details of this case created by user A, it should not retrieve and it will throw some message, validation message. I could not find any case details for case number. So this is the expected behavior. So since I'm an authenticated user and I don't have a access and it's a private sharing and user B should not retrieve a case related to user A. So it's working as expected. So let me create a case. It's this user as well. Okay, I got a case. So let me save it here. Now let me go here and the conversation of this. And let me log out from user B authenticated. So let me now log in as the same user B and authenticated agent. So just to be clear, like authenticated is like a user who is logged in as a verified user, like he's logged in with the credentials, and unauthenticated he is running in the agent context. User context is running on authenticated user, unauthenticated users runs on agent context. So in this chat, let me start a new conversation. So this is an unauthenticated agent on user B. So now let me go to the Word document. Here I have these cases. So let me try to fetch the case of user A here. So now you are able to see we are able to get the details of user A. So the same user A record which we tried under authenticated agent. So we are not able to fetch, but where in case of unauthenticated, I'm able to fetch the case details. So here is the difference. So an unauthenticated agent which is running on Einstein agent user will work on the OW of internal users. So if the OW of internal user is a read, write, or transfer, so it will run on the internal user access, the Einstein agent. So here, the reason why I am able to get the case details is because of the internal user OWT. So let me show you after this demo how it, and again we can do the same testing. So now I am able to get the case details, which should not be the correct case. Even if it is an unauthenticated user, user B should not have access to user A's record. But now they are having. So let me create a case here as well. So we have 4 cases created. So these are authenticated cases, these are unauthenticated cases to the respective user. So just close it out, log out. So user A and B of unauthenticated having these case numbers. So let me try to access this case in a authenticated agent, whether I am able to get, since we are thinking like user A will be the record owner of both the cases. Let me try to go inside user B's authenticated agent. It will be like little confusing, but just keep on track of the concept. So let me go to user B, and this is a authenticated agent, and let me try to get the case details of get the, so it won't be able to fetch the case records of this because this has been created by this case has been created by an agent user, Einstein agent user. So it is not created by user B. It's created by agent user. That's why even we have user B under unauthenticated, it is not able to fetch from the agent. Let me end the chat. The same goes for agent A as well. Let me log out and let me go and show you the case owners of the respective case for all open cases. So we have 35, 36, 37, 38. So let me open all those 4 cases. So 35. So 35 is on user A. So here also we can see the case owner as user A. It's fine. And created by is also user A. So 36, it's on Einstein service agent. So 36 is a unauthenticated case which we created from user A itself. So the owner is showing as a Einstein user. So there's a difference. If you are checking the checkboxes, user verification, and if you're logging in as a portal, it's taking the logged in user context, and it's running as that respective user, creating records, and data access are running on based on that user. If we don't enable this add user verification, if we are trying to do a case creation or trying to access the data, that it will run on the Einstein agent, which has been created during the agent creation. So the created by last modified by in the case one. So all are Einstein agent. So coming to 37, the same goes for 37. Its case owner is user B as well as created by and lost modified or user B1. So it's authenticated user, and unauthenticated we have case number 38. As mentioned, for the unauthenticated, this will be of agent user. So these are some of the examples for authentication and authentication. So how to restrict? Because I don't want the agent user to um, access the records that are not related to them. Then how we can do the restriction? So we can go to share settings. So as already mentioned, so the agent user, Einstein agent user, which is present in the Agentforce agents, will run on the internal user data access. So for example, case, we go to case. So my internal access is private read write transfer, and external access is private. That's why if I logged in as a portal user and try to access some other's access record as user B, then it's throwing the error. So that's a valid scenario. So since I have this access in the internal, so if I log in as an unauthenticated user, I am able to access the records that are not belong to me. So that's why if I able to log in as user B and try to access user A in an unauthenticated agent, I am able to get the details. That should not be the case. So let me edit. So prior to that, I'll quickly show the same thing. So from the contact, let me log in as user B in this agent side. So let me take case records of A and chat conversation. Case details of user A access of account record. So this is user A record which I am able to access in user B through unauthenticated agent. So let me end the chat. So before making the change, I am able to access. So let me close and let me log out. So now I'm going to my sharing settings, edit. Just go here and make it as a private. So let's say let's check again. It's on focus. So now the sharing settings of the case has been changed to private for the default internal access. So now let me go to the same user B. Let me refresh once. And let me log in as the unauthenticated same agent. Fetch the case details of this record. So let's see what happens. So I could not find any details. So since we updated the sharing settings of the internal users to private, it won't be able to get the details of the user A record. If it is something else, private, public read write transfer, so it will be able to access the record because it runs on the internal user access. So here I have few of the articles. So based on which I referred and created this demo. So here they are clearly mentioned as a logged in end user. So how it works. Without the credential based user verification, it will run as an agent user. With credential based user verification, so that once the checkbox is checked only, it will log in, will run as the logged in site user. So the data access as well same. So without, it will run on the agent users permission profile and field level security and sharing tools. With, will be run as the logged in site user access. So you can go through this article and really it will be very useful when you are working on a service agent and you want to explore a lot of things on access related, and you should not overexpose data to the agent users. Then you can go through this article. So here they have clearly explained about how it works. So I'll go through few of the key points which is needed here. So here we have this credential based user verification, from where you can navigate to this place, and how we are able to set this user verification during the creation of messaging settings and embedded messaging. And another one document which is important is the best practice for agent user permission. So here we are only seeing about the data access. So in case of object level securities like a permission level like create, edit, delete, or update. So those permission levels, how we can control is explained through the this article. So you need to control those permissions either through the profile, or you can restrict through the flow access. If the agent user is this, then you should not uh, proceed with further actions. Like either we are doing a create action, it's not needed for the agent, then that should not be added as part of the agent. So the key points which I like to discuss, we have here under the agent user consideration. So OWD determine what access users have to record. They don't own. In the agent session with an authenticated user, the session runs in the end user context. No OWD depend upon the whether a user is external or internal. In the agent session with an unauthenticated user, the session runs on agent user context, and OWD for internal users apply. So this is the key point which I like to mention. OWD for internal user apply for agent user which runs on the session with unauthenticated. So because previously we had a lot of confusions regarding the agent access, data access mainly. So how it works, and if users should not over access the agent, they should not get access of some other data which is not relevant to them. How we can restrict and all those things. We had a lot of discussions, and later while going through multiple articles, we figured out these articles are very useful. Like there are a lot of details which clearly explains about the access of agent. So that's it from my